goes by the title Haec Sancta, this holy council, and follows. Basically stating that the councils are of a superior authority than the Pope. That's one of the things. And by the fact that the council is reopened, this document is never recognized as this claim of conciliarism never is not given that same level, is never recognized, basically. Although there is a troublesome thing that comes a little later. In the final session of the council, there were 45 sessions, and we're not going to go through all of them, far too many. In 1418, Pope Martin V, who was elected towards the end of 1417, specified that he wished to hold and inviolably observe and never to contravene in any way each and everything that had been determined, concluded, and decreed. Here's an interesting phrase, in a conciliar way, namely those things that had happened after that had been officially reopened by the Pope. That's one understanding, interpretation of it, and it seems to coincide with how he related to the councils going forward. The one troublesome issue was in session 39, there was a decree called Frequens, which translates as frequently the church will hold ecumenical councils. And it set out a timeline where an ecumenical council would be held within 5 years, and then from that point on, every 10 years. And almost an attempt to change the constitution of the church. And as one priest once said to me, God so much loved the world that he gave to it no committees. So this is going to be one thing that challenges the papal authority in the early 1400s. That Haec Sancta said, declared that legitimately, let's see. First, it declares that legitimately assembled in the Holy Spirit, constituting a general council and representing the Catholic Church militant, it has power immediately from Christ, and that everyone of whatever state or dignity, even papal, is bound to obey it in those matters which pertain to the faith, the eradication of said schism, and general reform of the said Church of God and headed members. So this would seem to be in direct contradiction to what comes centuries later of papal infallibility in Vatican I, all right? But now, why is this not in conflict? Because this is not recognized, and this was one of Gregory XII's intentions. Nothing that comes before is recognized as an act of the council. So this, although it was said at that place, and this can create some confusion in, not even among Catholics down to today. It declares that anyone of whatever condition, state, or dignity, even papal, so it espouses what's called conciliarism. The councils have more authority than the Pope. An attempt to switch the constitution of the church to make it like a sitting assembly of elected delegates or of representative delegates, even if they're by the bishop. That's one of the attempts here. And it's an attempt because there is this schism of these three so-called popes all of this time and the confusion that it has caused. So Gregory XII, his representative, reopens the council. One of the other things that it does is that there is a problem of heresy that has arisen during this time, not surprisingly. Divisions within the church and heresies pops up. John Wycliffe was from England. He is dead by this point. But his works travel through to Czechoslovakia, or Bohemia, what's now Czech Republic, because a Czech princess marries an English prince, and at that time, and the documents flowed back to the Czech Republic, where they become popular with a man by the name of John Hus. And Hus had been excommunicated both by the Pisan Pope, John the 23rd, and Gregory II,